going to say Nuri. I'm going to play Gabriel, I think, over Nuri. I probably said the other way around earlier on.
Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another stream. Midweek stream this week, which is an unusual one, but looking forward to it as usual. Glad to see so many in chat already. Hope you're all well. Me myself, let me know what you're up to. I just came back from college, so we might be a bit more upbeat and excited to go for the week ahead of football rather than waking up early in the morning on a Saturday weekend. So let me know what you're at or what you've done today. I'm sure a lot of people, you're in different time zones, so you might be at different bits and bobs, but great to see you all. So, I suppose we won't sugarcoat anything. In front of you, I've got the team. Again, another small red arrow last week. Disappointing, but again, in my opinion, I think I'm playing somewhat sensible. Some wild picks, but shafted with the Sun injury, as I'm sure a lot of you are also this week. Let me pull up chat real quick and let me fix that timer. Chat is up now. Let me fix the timer before anyone gets annoyed. Yeah, I literally just came back from college about, I want to say, hold on, like an hour ago. So my brain is still fairly woke. Triple Captain Active says, Wasim, no chance. I won't be triple captain this week. It's just not for me. Nick Zero in chat. Danny B. Praffle is in here. Take a Touch podcast says he just finished a uni lecture. Let me know what you're studying. I'm interested to see what you're doing. Let's get straight into answering some questions. As you know, I'm a small bit later on this deadline stream. I was quite busy with work. Again, I've had a few recommendations that you'd like to see a bit more content. I'm trying my best, lads, I promise. It's just, you know, I'm just so busy with college work, and for me, FPL just has to take a bit of a back burner for the time being. But I'm sure there'll be another point in time where I'll be able to give it my everything. I would love to do like 3 or 4 videos weekly. Right now, we're a bit constrained to one team selection and one deadline stream. But again, I'd rather be doing that than kind of be burned out and not enjoying it. Saka and Havertz for Salah and Strand Larsen. It depends on what you think on Saka's opportunity to play. Again, on paper, I don't think they're bad moves, but if suddenly Saka's fit, it looks like a bit of a sideward move. Again, it's really difficult for me to have an opinion on this type of move because, I'll be honest, I look at my own team and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. Would you do Raya and Son to Palmer and Flecken, says Adam702. I really like those two moves for sure. It's just whether or not you weigh up this Newcastle fixture for Palmer and you think Son is going to be fit next week. Because I think if I look at those two individual things, and if I expect Son to be grand next week, I don't know if it's quite worth it to do. But I think in general, like, it can't go too wrong. You'll probably end up wanting Palmer at some point. Got Son for Saka early. What should I do? Is it worth a -8 for Salah? Yeah, so if we look at my own team, if we go into the transfers page, I'm exactly 0.1 million off of bringing in Palmer, which is so frustrating. It is so annoying. I think it's 0.2, sorry, he got another price rise. But it is what it is. Maybe it's a sign I shouldn't go there just yet. I would love to, of course, just go there right now, but I think alternatively what I could do is move on to William Saliba, who probably should make way out of my team, and move in maybe a Renan Aït-Nouri, who's definitely not a bad shout. Again, the fixture this week is Brighton, which is definitely not ideal. But when I look at the other type of defenders in that 4.5 type of bracket, There's no one else I really love. There's actually one player, and again, you might see my bias sticking true, but I watched that game last night, Tottenham versus AZ Alkmaar, and one of the best players on the pitch was easily Destiny Udogie. Now, I've not yet seen him play to that level. I know it was only against AZ in a Europa League game, but I think, you know, his energy and some of the positions he was getting into. Again, he got an assist versus West Ham. Definitely one to keep an eye on, whether or not I go to him or not. Hi Chai, DCL is in my nightmare. It's time for Kuna. Yeah, I think it's definitely a nice time to maybe pick up a Kuna. Of course, we've seen FPL Raptor Ross go there a week or two early, and fair play to him, it worked out. Didn't quite work out last week. Strand Larson, of course, picking up the goods, but definitely a nice little option. Why do people want to sell Haaland and get Salah next week? Yeah, so this is a popular one. We can talk about it. It's actually quite interesting because I haven't looked too much into the distant future. Let me pull up FPL team real quick, and we'll have a look at my team ID and see how we're lined up. This is probably one of the most important things you could do for your own team, I would say. Alright, let's have a look. So obviously going to be benching Tyler Dibbling. So why are people getting rid of Haaland? Well, I don't think it's more so to do with Haaland. It's more so to do with Salah versus Brighton, which is a lovely fixture. Of course, the Bournemouth fixture for City is also quite good, but Liverpool go on this really nice run of Villa and then Southampton, of course. So I think it's the Southampton one, whereas, you know, if you look at Haaland's fixtures, it's Brighton, Tottenham, Liverpool, Forest, teams who are a bit better strength-wise in defence. So I think that's why. Again, I'm not rushing too fast to try get rid of Haaland just yet. I know he's blanked every single week since I got him, but right now, it is what it is. What am I studying? I study computer science, that's right. Kaya Mean says, I'm taking off a 90-minute flight now from Bordeaux in Paris. We'll be landing exactly on deadline, so I need to lock in now. I have the triple captain on Haaland and Buenanotte starting in front of Emile Smith-Rowe. Yeah, I really like that. Some bold moves there, especially with the triple captain on. I don't mind it, lads. I think it could definitely work out. It's just not for me. It's just the type of manager I am. I live for excitement in this game and opportunity. And what would be the most exciting thing is for me not to triple captain Haaland when everyone else is. Of course, we've seen the majority of people already use it, but I think I would like to use it on the potential double game week if it's to come. Try differential of the week. Differential of the week. I mean, does Phil Foden count? I think last week I tipped him, and in hindsight, because he didn't start, it wasn't great. He still got an assist, of course, but I think this week against Southampton at home, you'd be expecting big things, and I think if I could get to him, I would be doing a clear route to Son to a Foden for sure. Hey Troy, will you start? Why did my monitor just turn off? What is going on? Triple captain thoughts. Yeah, we spoke about that. Bench and headache. Kulu, Rodgers and Raul have Rodgers on the bench right now. Yeah, I keep making the mistake of benching Rodgers. I don't know how I keep doing it. Is it a week to do it this week? Probably. I don't think I'll be benching Kulu just by the sheer fact of how good he's playing. I've not seen a development in a player like this. Like there was a point in time where I was almost fed up of Kulusevski. My monitor turned off, by the way. That's why there's nothing in front of you, if you're wondering. Give me 2 seconds and we'll be back. What is going on? But yeah, I just think it's probably not the best idea to be benching Kulu. Of course, we have also... he'll probably have more priority now if Son is out of the team. You know, he becomes more a bit of a threat, I would say. You know, the opportunities spread a bit less because, of course, Son is the main man. HR, will you start dibbling in game week 10 and 11? Here's another good point, actually, while we're on that. And that is that Solanke now is on penalties if Son is not in the team. So, just on Son, I would say it's almost 90% sure that he won't play. We've not seen Postecoglou lie about any Spurs players just yet, and I don't see why he would this week. So that's why I'm fairly certain I can't see any world in which he'd be starting. But will I be starting Dibbling in 10 or 11? I can't say I've planned on it just yet. It really depends on what my moves between now and then look like, so it's hard to say. The lap to Wissa on free transfer or carry. I think I prefer to carry the transfer in that situation. Don't get me wrong, Wissa has an unbelievable fixture this week. But he's only coming back from injury, and it's whether or not you expect him to start, first of all, and how many minutes if he does start. So I would be a bit wary. If you're confident of a start, I'd say go for it. Of the exact funds for Palmer from Son, yeah, I would just do that, to be honest. I wouldn't even give it too much thought. Easy move for me. Saka to Bruno or Garnacho? You know what? I think I would genuinely just go to a Bruno. I think we're getting to the point of the season, right? What we're starting to see is quite a few injuries. That's the main thing. And, you know, we appreciate players who don't get injured and can play consistently. Now, of course, we saw the likes of a Son and Saka and would have assuming, you know, they would have been fit. But again, that's exactly why you might want to go to a Bruno instead of Garnacho. Garnacho runs around with a brace on his knee at his early 20s. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on in a sense where I think you want players who are probably more nailed. Adogi can't defend. Yeah, that's right, Croydon. He can't defend. He's been so poor this season. I don't deny that at all, but from an FPL point of view, you don't really care if he can defend or not. You just want him to play for a half decent defense. He's only like 4.8 million now, I think, and he gets into some really good areas. Now, you can say he's a walking red card. That is just not true. He likes the yellow card, don't get me wrong, but yeah. I'm going to skip down through some more of your questions. I'm going to plug back in my monitor. I don't know why it's off. Give me 2 seconds. Choi, is Diaz a sell? I don't think so. Okay, my monitor is back on. Why is the thumbnail Mohamed Salah? Let me speak about that. Because I was messing around with some of the potential moves I could make. And one of them was, of course, knocking Saliba straight down to a 3.9 defender. Again, my defense is not the strongest to be doing that, in my opinion. But I just wanted to see the idea of it. Let's just stick Alfie Pond in there for the time being. And it gives me enough funds, I think, to bring in the king, Mohamed Salah. And I just wanted to see what it would look like. Again, that's not exactly on my mind, but definitely something I could consider. Again, it's Arsenal away. I'm not trying to say that is a good fixture for Liverpool. But again, these are two teams that are going for the title. And Arsenal are without, I would say, quite a decent chunk of their starting 11, so it makes sense to me. Saka to Foden. Yeah, I think Saka to Foden is probably going to be the most popular this week, assuming you're not tied up in triple City like I am, unfortunately. Thoughts on Saka to Son and Havertz to Watkins on 2 free transfers. Yeah, Watkins is another one who no one is talking about, and it's quite interesting to me. Again, it probably is due to the fixtures, I understand that, but I just feel like Watkins will take away nicely regardless. But yeah, definitely not bad moves. Again, it's really hard for me to encourage moves because I don't know what I'm doing myself, but they're not bad moves what you're suggesting. Let me get back to my normal team in case anyone was thinking I was going to make that move. I fancy Diaz against this weakened Arsenal side. What do you think, Chai? Yeah, I just think in general, I'll be almost positive of a Diaz start this week round. I know last week, you know, I wasn't confident at all. This week, I'm again, I don't know why. It's just coming from my initiative, but I really do feel like he will play. Again, you'll probably be expecting about 70 minutes though again. But also, yeah, I think the dynamic of this Arsenal game at the Emirates is going to be really, really interesting. It's two massive sides. Again, City have been, I would say, not at their best recently. And if there was ever a time to catch City off their 5 Premier League titles, kind of looks like it's this season. Now, Arsenal have looked off the ball as well, but Liverpool look a different animal this season. Kind of pains me to say it, but it's going to be a really interesting game. I think holding on to Trent is definitely the right play because, you know, there will be opportunities in this game. Again, especially with the likes of a Saliba red card, Odegaard not for the control. And Saka, I don't know whether or not he's going to play or not, but Saka's their main man. Again, for anyone that just missed it, Solanke on penalties if there's no Sonny, which looks almost for sure. We got FPL Doctor in here. Good to see you again, man. As usual, he never misses. 1 free transfer. I have Palmer, Son to Foden, or roll and play Semenyo. FPL Doctor, I think either way you go there, you'd be quite happy. Again, the move I would make is Foden for sure. Again, there wouldn't be a doubt in my mind, purely for the fact of Southampton at home and a City. It is the type of fixture where Foden could easily just pick up 3 goals like we seen last season against Brentford. Start Jimenez or McNeil, anyone please. Who are Everton playing? They're playing Fulham. I'll be playing Jimenez. It's just a form thing for me. Let's do a cheeky poll in a second. Let's do triple captaincy. TC. I'm going to assume majority's on no, but let's see what you're saying. We've got a super chat from Taylor. Taylor says, where is this? 2 seconds. What does Taylor say? Taylor says, was planning to do Son to Johnson in 12. I might just do it this week. Would you consider Kulu over Johnson? And do you reckon Son will play next week? So, I'm fairly clued in, I would like to say, on Spurs. I think that is fair to say. And from my own perspective, I've not heard elsewhere that it is a bad injury at all. Just the fact that, you know, he's just not 100% fit. And I know that's what Ange said, but usually you hear like a bit more noise around the camp. And it doesn't sound like anything too crazy. So I want to say he is fine to play next week. And it is a big game next week. I believe it's Villa, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Villa next week, which is a massive game. And Son will be very influential if he does make that game in determining, you know, if we get a win or not, just through the pure high line that they play. Whether or not Kulu or Johnson is worth a move from Son, I can't give you a definite answer because I can't tell you I'm 100% sure Son will play next week. If I were to choose between Kulu or Johnson though, for me I think they are two assets who I can't see too much deviation in points over a prolonged period, I want to say. If I had to choose one, I would choose Kulu only due to the minutes. We're seeing Wilson Odobert come back into the picture. He's back in training. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him back on the bench on the weekend again. So I think Kulu is probably a nailed 90-minute man for the rest of the season, providing he doesn't get injured. Whereas Johnson is more likely to be a substitute, I would say. Again, Johnson has had that amazing form, but I just watched the games and how Kulu is playing. You know, he's going to pick up some great bonus because he loves to be fouled and he's such a workhorse. He does a lot towards bonus. So 1 return and he's on for bonus. So thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate it. Liverpool looks so balanced on their slot IMO. Yeah, Praful, for me, the difference this season is how they've unlocked Ryan Gravenberch. Like, he's been an absolute game changer. It's night and day how he's playing. And he's been the best midfielder in the league for me this season. Like, without a doubt, I want to say. He's been that good. 71% are not wildcarding, are not triple captain this week, which is interesting. That means that 29% are on triple captain, which is a bit mad considering I thought most people already used it in the Ipswich fixture on Haaland, but definitely interesting to see. I just tried to update the chat in the bottom right, by the way. Let me know if that worked. Doesn't look like it has. Let me try that again. Looks like something has went wrong. Yes, it does. How about now? Anyway, where are we? Thoughts on Matoma. I really thought he obliterated Spurs when he played us. Again, I know I keep going back to Spurs, but I haven't watched too much of Brighton this season, I'll be honest. But yeah, I feel like I was so against going for Welbeck only because how well he done. It was almost like you don't want to go back on when you're wrong about someone. And for me, it looks like Welbeck is still that guy if you can get to him rather than a Matoma. I think out of midfielders, Matoma is probably the best. But I think if you can get to a Welbeck, I prefer that. So would you start Mikalenko or Porro? Porro without a doubt, man. 100%. Especially with how Crystal Palace look. Again, Crystal Palace are a bit of a Spurs bogey team, I want to say. I don't know how this game was going to go. I'm not too confident. But we're on good form. We're on good form. Maybe I should back us a bit more. Let me close up this poll. It's interesting to see that everyone, or a large majority of the people in here are on triple captain. Who do I move Havertz and Ahmed to? I've a bit in the bank too. It's a -4 as well. Uh, -4s are tough, man, especially when you're getting rid of the likes of a Havertz. I want to say Kuna is one of them because that would free up some more money to maybe buff up Ahmed to someone a bit better. Franok says start one of Soicek, Semenyo, and I don't have long. I have to leave the live stream soon. I'll be starting Semenyo. Semenyo's got some decent chances against some of the bigger sides this season, so I think I'll definitely be playing Semenyo. That offside goal against Liverpool, of course, and that chance versus Arsenal. Thoughts on Van den Berg? Is he nailed? I think nailed is probably not the right word to use. Do I expect him to start? Probably. Hello, Choi. Start both Trent and Gabriel or play Mikalenko for one of them. I honestly think there is an opportunity to play Mikalenko, but I would just save myself the stress and just play Trent and Gabriel, man. I think we've seen too many times in recent time, especially with Gabriel. Yeah, it depends, I suppose. Saka's not on the corners if he's not playing. Derek O'Reilly says, Mikey Moore, worth a punt. Come on, you Spurs. Derek, what a performance last night in the Europa League. My God. That second half, he was just transformed. Keane says, do I sell Rhea or no? I'd be going to Pickford and then Saka to Foden, maybe. I don't think... Yeah, I do like it for Saka to Foden if you're getting rid of Rhea. I know, it's tough, man. Again, Arsenal, we know that as a team, regardless of who's in those positions, in my opinion, they're always going to be really good on defensively, especially with their numbers like what we've seen. It doesn't put me off too much that Saliba's gone. Of course, what puts me off the most is that is Liverpool. And Liverpool are just class, but actually, yeah, I don't mind getting rid of Rhea. Choose one of Johnson, Maddison or McNeil. I think I would choose Johnson. McNeil or Semenyo. McNeil. To be honest, either. I wouldn't be too bothered playing either of them, but... Are you changing anything? Says S9J. I will be changing something. I just don't know exactly what. My initial plan is to play 4 at the back, I think. Which feels so sideways when you have 3 free transfers in the bank, but... Again, I also feel like it's sideways if I move on Son and he plays against Villa next week. I don't love it. Best goalkeeper to buy this week. Oh, it's Ederson because he's playing Southampton, but it's not Ederson. Don't be buying Ederson. Maybe Pickford. Cucurella or Dallo? You know what? United have really good fixtures coming up, and Dallo was United's best player versus who did they play last week? Who did they play last week? Why can't I think? I watched the game. Brentford, sorry. For some reason I had in my head it was West Ham, but of course they're playing them this week. Yeah, for me it would be Dallo. Solanke or Smith Rowe? Solanke easily. He's going to be on penalties. Star Van den Berg, Konate or Aït-Nouri? I think it's got to be Van den Berg, unfortunately. Son isn't going to play. Should I free hit? Nah, no chance. Best captain for non-Haalanders. I want to say it's Foden. Again, Alex, I don't know if you're in here, but I gave my cousin a tip last week. He's always getting on to me. And the one thing I told him was to bring in Foden. And again, I didn't do it, but I was wrong. He didn't start. Of course, he came out with the assist, but I got slated a bit. Let's just put it that way. And I do think he could be a good option this week. Okay, this is more of a general question. Again, I don't know the age demographic in chat, but I am curious. I'm gonna do a poll here. 1 second. No, actually, I'll just ask it, and if anyone wants to reply to it, cool. If you don't, cool. Do you think an acre of land is a lot if you own it? Again, I don't own any land. I'm young, but again, the age demographic might be wrong. But yeah, do you think an acre of land is a lot of land, and do you own your house? I don't own my house, for anyone wondering. Start 3 of Aït-Nouri, Gabriel, Alexander, or Mikalenko / Lewis. I would be starting Lewis, Trent, and Gabriel, or Aït-Nouri. I would probably do Aït-Nouri, Trent, and Lewis. Keane says, yeah, it is a lot of land. Roger McSweeney's 37. Finn is 69. Sure, pal. An acre of land is not actually a lot, says Jamie. Yeah, but it depends who you ask, like. Classic Irish, yes, a lot, says Finn. An acre is a decent bit. See, this is what I mean, right? We've got some decent, feedback, and it depends who you ask. Like, it really depends who you ask. If you grew up and your family owns, like, a few acres, obviously it's not a lot. But when you, like, obviously, you don't even own your house, it's like you have a different perspective on it. And why I'm asking is, I have a friend, and we were just chatting, and she brought up that she had multiple acres, but said it so casually, and I was just like so taken back by it. Like I was genuinely like, "What are you talking about? Like you have multiple acres, like." An acre, by the way, for anyone that is unsure, if you work in hectares, it's the equivalent of 60% of a football field. So just a small bit after the halfway line. But yeah, cheers everyone for the feedback. We'll get back to FPL in just a second. Ian says he's 27 and I own my own house. 1 acre is a lot. Okay, cheers Ian for the feedback. 27 as well. You're doing great if you own your own house at 27. I'd be delighted at some point to have a house at that age. Very much depends on where you live. That's another good point, I suppose. Here in Brighton, that's definitely a lot. Yeah, I suppose if you live near the city and there's a lot of agriculture and farming in Ireland, maybe land is a bit cheaper in certain areas. Anish, my channel member, is in chat. Hey man, good to see you. Ryan R says an acre is massive. I own a house and 0.9 acres, says Roger McSweeney. Yeah, nah, it baffled me. Okay, so let's move on from that. Is Mikalenko nailed? I want to say so. Yeah, he's back. Are you selling Son? Says Aaron. I'm unsure. I'm genuinely unsure. I'm stuck in two minds. Wissa or Raul this week? Again, if you expect Wissa to start, it has to be Wissa. Let's do a little scroll on Twitter. I'm a bit nosy. Let's see what people are doing. Is Mikalenko nailed? Yes, I answered that already. I did. Okay, let's have a look. FPL Fran. Gabriel. He's benching Gabriel. Interesting. Play Mikalenko or sell Son for Foden. A lot of people in the same predicaments. Liam Walsh says, I'm 20 and don't own my own house. Feel like no one at this age has a house. Yeah, no, Liam, no one at our age has a house unless you're like minted, of course, or you're fairly fortunate. I was talking about more to the older guys in here, anyone in their late 20s or mid 30s or even later, to give me a bit of perspective on what their opinions are about land. I need to know if Mazraoui starts. The question is, if Mazraoui starts, is whether or not he's playing in the 10 or not. Can you imagine if the likes of a Mazraoui was playing in the 10 again? He would break FPL, I think. Not to say that he would do well, but more so, it would be worth taking a punt. Kovacic or Smith Rowe? Smith Rowe all day, man. Saka to who? Yeah, so I'll be honest. I'm a content creator and I can't give you a solid answer on what to do with Saka. I would rather sit here and tell you I don't know rather than just tell you something for the sake of it. I'd rather be unsure and honest than lie and make you do something that, I've no reason to tell you. So honestly, what to do with Saka, I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Arteta comments because it's just a bit insane. Like he could genuinely, it could mean anything what he means. 28 and to be labelled older, guys, is like a dagger to the chest. You know what I mean, though? Like, to me, you're older, and, like, for example, older people are my brothers and my sisters. My brother is 30 and my sister is 30 in next month. So that's how I specify who's elder or not. If you don't own Haaland, what would you do this week? To be honest, first of all, I'd be panicking. I think this is just as good of a fixture than we seen in the Ipswich game. DeMarcus project him to do very, very well as well, so that doesn't help. I would say try and nail your captain. Easier said than done, of course, but how I would try combat that is maybe a Foden. Do I play Havertz and Gabriel or Diaz and Konate or split? I would be playing the two that you think have the most upside. I think I'd be playing Diaz and Havertz. Again, if you think it's a 1-0 game, though, don't be doing that. What are your score predictions for this Liverpool-Arsenal game? Let's put it in chat. I'm going to say this Liverpool-Arsenal game is going to be 2-1. I don't know to who. I genuinely just feel 2-1. I think it could be 1-0 for large periods of the game. But yeah, who do you have for it? It's actually an interesting set of fixtures this week. Willis Trippett with a $2 super chat. I don't know why you lot send me money. Like, I really appreciate it, but like, you don't need to be doing that. Start McNeil or Raul. Thanks from Maryland. Where is Maryland? Maryland. US. Crazy. Near Washington. That is insane. I don't know what time it is in Maryland. Let me know. Thank you for the super chat. Start McNeil or Raul though. So Raul with the nice fixture of Everton and vice versa for McNeil. I think I'll be playing McNeil. Again, I have a split answer for this. And I think the reason I keep changing my mind is Raul, you have form. McNeil, you have a home fixture, and Everton are starting to do that thing we've seen in previous seasons where, you know, they go on a run. Again, when I say run, a run for Everton's sake. But yeah, I think I'll be playing McNeil. I'd be happy playing either though. It's a nice fixture for both. So Ryan thinks it's going to be 0-0. Finn 2-1 Arsenal. 2-1 Arsenal says Mark. 1-0 says Sam Barrett. 2-1 says Chess Econ. Roger McSweeney 1-0. Kean says 2-0 Liverpool, you never walk alone. Jonathan says 2-0. Yeah, so good to see that everyone's on the same-ish wavelength in terms of a 1-goal difference in the scoreline. Not to say that it's going to happen. Daylal says 3-0 Liverpool. If Liverpool beat Arsenal 3-0, again, not like one game changes the dynamic, but Liverpool go in and smash Arsenal 3-0, you know, they're on for the title realistically, and I can imagine what that would do in their next home game at Anfield. Like, it would just completely change the dynamic. Again, this is a massive game for both teams. You know, suddenly Arsenal lose this and Saka, Odegaard potentially out. Of course, Saliba with the red card. He's back in that Newcastle game, but this is a massive game. Unbiased 1-0 Arsenal, come on you Gunners. That's not what I like to hear. USA, yeah, no, it's cool, it's mad. That's one thing I love about FPL. Like, two things. My 8-year-old cousin plays FPL. My 70-year-old granddad plays FPL. And my 50-year-old dad plays. There are people watching me, living in Ireland, from the USA, from Malaysia, from Africa, all around the globe, just to talk about football. There's not many other things that unite people. When I say unite, you know, maybe we're not all on the same team here, but we all share a similar interest, and so many people on a weekly basis tune in to listen to me waffle, and of course other content creators. So I think it's great, lads. It's so good. Anish with 2 months of a cup of chai. Welcome back to the gang, Anish. For anyone that doesn't know, by the way, or you want to support the channel, don't send me money, whatever you do, but be sure to sign up as a member. We have a WhatsApp group, and I try to get back to everyone in the WhatsApp group a bit faster than anyone else that's asking questions, as you can expect though. Would you start DCL or Rodgers? I hate the idea of benching Rodgers after doing it for 3 weeks. For me, I think it's DCL. He gets chances, man. He does get chances. It's a home fixture and he's on penalties. Has to be DCL. It is 12:41 in Maryland. Crazy stuff. Right here it's 5:33 in the UK/Ireland. Tuning in from Ontario, Canada. So cool, man. Welcome, Finn. Good to have you. Everyone will be strong this week. Yeah, my thought process exactly. Yeah, again, that's another thing. Like, if you expect goals in this Liverpool and Arsenal game, obviously play your attacking assets for both. If you expect very limited goals or a cagey game, then play your defensive options. It really boils down to that. Cape Town says Neil Peterson. I have a friend from South Africa. He says Cape Town, it is beautiful. I definitely have to make my way down there, down south at some point. But yeah, I've heard good things. Alright, let's get back to my team. We'll answer one more question. That's from Jonathan Shirley. He says, no hoodie today, switching it up. Yeah, I said I'd give the hoodie a little break today. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm going off to Manchester on the weekend for a little trip. And I just decided to retire it for the stream. Yeah, I don't know why. Crescencio Somerville about to go off the next few weeks. Really, Stephen, I'm gonna hold you to that. Wood or Kuna, or start Strand Larson, or Wissa or Roll? Kuna. I'd go Kuna. Okay, what am I going to do, lads? Let's take a look at my team. For me, it's almost for sure getting rid of William Saliba. I think that is the right move, due to the fact that how it sets me up next week. Let's take a look. Game week 9, okay? Let's get rid of Saliba and put in Renan Aït-Nouri. It just leaves me a bit more flexible next week on what I want to do. Again, I could... Now that you say that though, I could just... no, I think that is the play. And then I'll go into game week 10 with 2.4 million in the bank and 3 free transfers. Hopefully Son is back. Of course, you get that Mikalenko fixture. Bench Aït-Nouri, and you have Dibbling in game week 10 versus Everton at home. So it's a bit more flexible. Leith Crew with $3. He says, Saka to Foden for the next 3 game weeks. Son out, can't get Palmer. Yes, Leith, that would definitely be my move. Again, the only reason I've not brought in the likes of Foden is due to Lewis and Ederson. Now, a blessing in disguise, because I kind of wanted to do that move maybe a week or two ago. But yeah, I think this is a phenomenal fixture for Foden. Now, I spoke about it last week quite a bit, and that was about, you know, we quite often compare the assets of Foden, Son, Saka, Palmer, Salah. But I think people, or not people, but in general, we kind of need to start looking at these options a bit differently. You know, the difference in price between a Palmer and Foden is 1.7 million. And you wouldn't be comparing other assets that are like 7 million and 5 million. You know what I mean? They're two different fruits from different trees. Like, so I would be looking at it a bit different if you're considering the players in this bracket. I suppose Saka, Son and Palmer are a bit closer. 1 million in difference between Son and Palmer. But no comparison when you consider Foden and Salah. Is Solanke a must keep? Absolutely. Solanke is 100% keep, especially when you consider the fact that he's very, very likely to be on penalties this week. Or, not that he's likely to be on penalties this week. The only opportunity he's not on penalties is if Son is playing, and I just can't see that happening. So, who can I place Semenyo with? To be honest, I think I'll just keep Semenyo at this point. There's a point in time where the fixtures look good, which is fairly soon. And he's also a player who's getting good chances against good teams. I wouldn't be too eager to get rid of him. Again, unless you have the luxury. Watkins for captain. Aston Villa need to climb. I don't know, man, if they need to climb. They're doing quite well. They have a difficult fixture set coming up. And Bournemouth isn't an easy game. I mean, of course, the Saliba red card completely changed the dynamic of the game. But they shut Arsenal out. And I feel like due to Solanke going, maybe they're after setting up a small bit differently. That was a good analogy. I don't know what analogy I gave, but I hope it was helpful. Sell Gabriel or Trent? There is an argument, Jonah, to get rid of both. I think there will be a point in the next 2 or 3 weeks where you will want an Arsenal defender back, though. Not to say that you won't want Trent back, but you can just do so many different things if you get rid of a Trent compared to a Gabriel, I feel. Again, that 1 million is the difference of a Palmer to a Son, which is a big jump. So I don't mind it. Bench Son for Carvalho, not great, but I think he'll have more minutes. I would just be starting Son. I think if Son is benched, he's not going to feature. Again, don't quote me on that, and I'm terribly sorry if I'm wrong, but I can only go on my own initiative again. Start Bone or McNeil? For me, it's Bone. I think, again, I just don't know if West Ham can continue being this shit. if I'm being honest. They've been useless. Sorry to any West Ham fans in here, but I think you'd agree with me. This United game isn't particularly a good one, but West Ham away for United isn't easy, especially when you consider how frail United are at the back. I think I'd have to be playing Bone. Akash says, are you rolling? I don't think so. I don't think I'm rolling at all. The player to get rid of is this position here, and whether or not it's worth upgrading the Sonny to a Palmer this week. I don't like it, man. Hello, Choi. Should I buy Wood for Havertz and Palmer for Smith Rowe? I love those two moves. I've actually not seen that question as of yet, so yeah, I would do those two moves for sure. Saka and Jota to Palmer and Garnacho, or Foden plus Bruno. Man, Foden and Bruno Giovanni, that is spicy. And it's very differential. Again, you know, say what you want about the United assets. I don't buy that they're shit assets in general. I think it just gets blown out of context when, you know, you're the biggest club in the world, second biggest club in the world, probably the biggest club in the league, and you're just underperforming. If it's anyone else underperforming, you know, like Eze, there's less said about it. Now, of course, he comes in at a bit more of an expensive price, but his numbers are good. He's on penalties, he's on free kicks, he gets chances, and I mean, he is going to return over the course of a season. But yeah, Garnacho, you know, of course, happy with the punt on Garnacho last week. Not going to try to toot my own horn on that one too much, but like, Welbeck out, Raulian. How can you get rid of Welbeck though? Like, don't get me wrong, like, the fixtures do get, the fixtures aren't the greatest, but it's a lovely fixture this week. I don't see why you get rid of him. Spurs' AI team brought in, my eye is twitching, sorry lads, brought in Palmer. I love Spiros' AI team. I actually got the opportunity to speak to Spiros. For anyone that doesn't know, let me bring up my boy Spiros Valahomis. I don't know how to say his name. He is a Greek data analyst. He done his final year project on building a model for AI, and that is why I had the opportunity to speak to him. Me and him discorded and had a general chat. I've been speaking to him for a while. But his model finished in the top 8,000 last year, which is ridiculous. When we talk about robots, of course, we have FPL Review, but, you know, Spiros was doing this off the back of his own model that he created himself, and I just thought that was fascinating. He was kind enough to give me some ideas, so for anyone that's not following him, give him a follow. It's always interesting to see what his AI is doing on a weekly basis, and this week it looks like he's doing a triple transfer. Diaz, Saka and Kilman to Palmer, Smith Rowe and Josko Guardiola, which is interesting to say the least. I don't know what to make of it. Again, the model hasn't been the greatest this year, 2.7 million, but neither have I. And us humans, you know, we suck sometimes. Again, I'm speaking for myself. Not the greatest of seasons, but yeah. I'm sure I'll be back though. Whether or not it'll be in the top 10k, I'm unsure. It's a big ask. Again, it is still early days though. Wissa or Wood on free hit. Again, the boldness in me, I think it would be either of the two. If I had to choose, it would be Wood, just based on form and minutes guarantee. Tom says, is Son injured? Yeah, it looks like it, unfortunately. Do you know what would be really interesting? I would love it, even if I'm getting rid of him, is if Ange just lied. I think he's too honest, and it is his nature. He doesn't need to lie. We're going to beat teams off the back of being better than them, and he is morally always like that. But sometimes, man, the dark arts work, and sometimes I feel like that's the difference between us and Arsenal. Just that little like extra oomph in being a little, you know, slimy. Like Arteta, like, he gives nothing in the press conferences, and if he does, it's a lie. And the same with how they play, you know, they're more than happy to waste time and just do some of the stuff that winners do, I want to say. Again, I don't know. Maybe Ange is right, though, for the future. What do you think of Son to Salah by downgrading Havertz to Wissa? Yeah, I really like it. But at the same time, I don't mind Wood if you don't own him. But yeah, good moves. Taylor says Ange needs a dishonesty arc. Yeah, no, that would be great. Like, I would love to just see Son in that starting 11 on the weekend, even if I got rid of him, man. Just it would be the most FPL thing to happen, and the least surprising thing I think we've seen. Chess Econ says bench one of Gabriel, Aït-Nouri and Aina. Also Son to Palmer for a -4. I think on the surface of it, if we're just getting the pure facts that Son is not playing, yes, Son to Palmer for a -4. Gabriel, Aït-Nouri and Aina, who to play? I think you have to bench Gabriel, and I just hate saying that because I could so easily be wrong, man. Choice beating facts. Did you see how they played against City? I did indeed. Palmer or Foden captain? I'd be more inclined to go Foden just because my risk appetite is just too high for this game. Hi, try thoughts on triple captain and Buemo. You've got some steel balls if you're going down that route. I'm all for it though. Where are we? Start DCL or Buenanotte? DCL. DLC. Who? Dominic Lewin Calvert. I don't know if there's a player called DLC. I'm going to assume you meant DCL. So now only out for this game week? Yeah, I want to say so. I would be very surprised to see if he missed that Villa game. Because considering he played 80 minutes in that last game. What's your opinion on Strand Larson? He was the one I was looking at last week, but I just think I prefer the surety of Kuna. You know how good he is of a player. He's a very good player. I think if you watch him, regardless of returns. And again, Wolves have been shocking this season, so I think I prefer him. Would you sell Havertz for a Wolves striker like Kuna? Yes, I would sell Havertz, but I think I'm leaning on banking on Havertz with another home fixture, which we've seen him do so well in previous weeks. Another home fixture, so I'm happy to start him. And another thing to consider is, I think there's an opportunity, again, I don't know what you would put the pen share down to, but that Havertz is on penalties if Saka's not on the pitch. Okay, another general question. Here we go. Did you go to college? Alright. And if you didn't, do you regret it? I speak to so many people, and like a lot of people, you know, I'm getting to the age of I'm nearly done in college, but you know, a lot of people don't use their degree after college, and I always find it fascinating. It's like, you know, why did you go to college then? And it also works the other way around. It's like, oh, I wish I went to college because I don't like my job now. But yeah, I always find it interesting. Palmer or Son? Palmer. McNeil or Diaz? Oh. McNeil. College is in uni. Yeah, I meant uni. Sorry. We call it college over here. Uni is like a UK thing and an American thing for us. I don't know why we call it college. Apologies. What was that question? McNeil or Diaz? You know what? Like, I just something doesn't feel comfortable with me benching Diaz. Put it that way. What year of uni are you in, Shaw? I'm in my 4th year. Hi, Shaw. I'm missing you inside the top 100. Well, let me tell you something. I don't miss it. You know, it's funny. It's a tricky one. You know, I was in the top 100 for, I would say, roughly about 30 weeks. Of course, we dipped out of the top 100 maybe for a week or two, but for the most part, I would say we're in the top 1000/top 100 for about 32 game weeks. And when you are in the top 100 and suddenly you start making content and there's a bit of pressure on your picks every single week, and you know, a year like this on where you're not doing so great, there's pressure, but you know, I needed to come back down to earth. I think this was needed for me. You know, it's not always pretty stuff in the air and cakes. You know, sometimes it's not always going to be great, and I'm not like a masterful manager who is going to get a top 10k finish every single year. Of course, I have 2 really nice finishes underneath my belt now, and of course we were 2nd in the world last year, but a reality check is always nice. Taylor says, finished uni last year, probably won't use my degree for much, but definitely don't regret it. had a class time. Yeah, I suppose it's also the experience. You know, if you go to university and you have a blast, I mean, it's worth every minute of it. And you don't care what you end up with. It's just another thing. So, yeah, that's interesting. Chaz says, FPL says, just brought in Garnacho. Let's get it. Love the content, Shy. Thank you, Chaz. Appreciate you. Nicholas Jackson. What about him? Not against Liverpool at home, I don't think. Not for me. Sikkim says, university is great, but if you meet people you enjoy hanging out with, and being independent in general is a great feeling. Yeah, you're right. Again, it's more so about, how do I say it? Transitioning from a teenager to a man is spending the time alone and doing things your own thing, having a bit of initiative. That's another good point. I'm in college right now. What are you studying? I study computer science. Depends upon the college and state of mind, I guess. Some people go for fun and for study. By the end of it, we all learn something which gets handy someday. That's a good point. Yeah, I suppose it's like the process. You know, it's the same with FPL. It's about being disappointed with United players every week and then having a shit rank at the end of it. Or picking all these players just for them to blank or get injured anyway. Like, so it's the moment and the process that needs to be talked about a bit more. Are you triple captain Haaland? No, not this week. Who to bench, Semenyo or Luis Diaz? Again, that's a tough one. It's such a difficult one to answer. I would be starting Diaz though, just because almost the price makes me want to play him, which is not the logical answer. Goldhead says, got 4 free transfers. Trent, Saka, Semenyo to Lewis. Palmer, Garner, thoughts. We'll have double City defence. As I think I'm going to bring in Palmer. The more I think of it, like, I know I'm answering questions, but, you know, my mind is thinking while I'm trying to answer as many as possible, and I think it might be the play. It's just, do I go to an 8 Nori here? By the way, let me do it on FPL team, just to visually get a better perspective on what I want to do. Renan 8 Nori. I have the transfers. It's just like, why not? And Palmer is one I'm going to hold for the future anyway. Newcastle at home isn't the worst fixture in the world either. Be looking like that using 2 free transfers. Of course, 2 going into the next game week where we'll have Palmer in place against United, which is always a lovely fixture. We have the opportunity to play Tyler Dibbling as well if I fancy it. My team is cheeks for next week. Like, cheeks. Yeah, I think I'm going to make those moves. What time is it? 6:02. It's so weird not having a 11 o'clock deadline. I have to check the time and see that the timer is not up. So Renan 8 Nori. Let me just put this in place to see how it looks. Why isn't... Oh, I have midfielders and I'm an idiot. And who else? Cole Palmer. Salah or Palmer? If I could get to Salah, I'd just go Salah, honestly. I can't believe how good a football Palmer is. I genuinely can't believe how good he is. Like, it was quite interesting. I think we seen at the end of last season when the debate of Foden versus Palmer came up. I personally sided on the side of Foden, and I think in my mind, only because we've seen Foden for multiple seasons and this was Palmer's breakout season, I really didn't expect him to be as good, if not better, than he was last season. And to see him be the focal point again this year with a new manager and a very large squad, he's phenomenal. I think he is the best player in the league. Sharif says, Palmer in for a -4 of Luis Diaz. It blocks me from getting Salah, and the only route to get to him is Haaland. Yeah, that is a tough situation. -4 for Luis Diaz to get to Palmer. I don't mind that. Yeah, I would do it. Hi Chai. Who to play this game week? Sells or Flecken? Sells or Flecken? It has to be Flecken, I think. I don't know. Something about away at Leicester doesn't sit right with me at the King Power. Start Mikalenko or 8 Nori. I would be chasing the upside and play 8 Nori. I'm a bastard for upside. Do you think we'll get any Forest leaks, says Loyal? I don't think so. Salah king of FPL. Salah is the king of FPL, but someone has to take the throne when he's gone. And I think we could potentially see like a 12 million Palmer next year, depending on how Chelsea do. Bench Semenyo or DCL? I'll be benching Semenyo purely due to DCL being on penalties. Bench Gabriel or Mikalenko? Hold on, let me make this screen a bit better for you. Sorry, I didn't realise it looked so cat. Choi, who to bench? Trent, Robinson or Hudson Odoi? I'll be benching Robinson. I think Shreve says thanks buddy, no problem at all. Manifesting fat green arrows this week. Oh boy, how I would love a green arrow. On Sleeper, do you have a draw for Leicester versus Forest? I don't play Sleeper. I'm not gonna shit on the game for the sake of it. But there's just something that like doesn't make sense to me, you know, like there's something not right. Who would I have for the Leicester Forest game? Honestly, I really don't know. You know, Forest actually look quite decent under Nuno, but again, I'm unsure. If I were to put money on it though, obviously I'm going Forest. Are you triple captain? No, I'm not, sir. No way I'd bench Gabriel ever. That is fair. Saka and Trossard to Palmer and Johnson. Saka and Trossard to Palmer and Johnson. Yes. Garnacho or Madison? Garnacho. Sorry. Haaland for 5 goals. Let's see. I don't know about that though. Have Saka and Havertz. What to do? Get rid of Saka, I would say. Yo Henry says hi Chai. I'll have Howard Bellis as my first sub. Should I sell Rhea for sells and get Wissa as a 9th attacker? 9th attacker. Something tells me you don't have 9 attackers because you can only have 8. But I'm going to assume you meant 8 attacker. Would be benching Rodgers, Johnson / Wood. No, I don't think so. It doesn't look worth a move to me. I would just play one of Johnson or Wood. Is it normal to bench Trent Alexander-Arnold and play Konsa, Mikalenko and Guardiola? Normal, no. I mean, I just feel like Trent, you know, he always has the upside, but I don't think it's the worst move in the world. If there's ever a week to do it when it's not City or Arsenal, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Vandenberg or Adogi? I would just play Adogi because you know his minutes are good. Any updates on the college project? Yes. So, like I said, I spoke to Spiros Valumus, and I got some insights. He also put me in the right direction on where to start and some of the problems I'm going to have while trying to make my own model. Do I think Madison will start? It's not one I've thought about. I'll be honest. I want to say yes. Again, don't get me wrong, he got hooked in that other game, but what we've seen was really, really good management from Ange Postecoglou. Starting him in this Europa League game, which I think was inevitable, but giving him the armband and then taking him off after a good shift, you know, I think it will give him his confidence back. I really do feel like there's a really professional relationship between manager and player in Madison and in Postecoglou. They speak quite well against each other, or like with each other. From the press conferences I've seen. Yeah, Sickum Boy says, guys, like the stream. If you could do me a favour, lads, if you're enjoying the stream, I would love it. It would get us out there. If you could just hit that like button for me. I won't ask again. If not, all cool. Gabriel versus Aina, who to start? I think I would start Aina. I said Gabriel without Saliba, and they're playing one of the best attacking teams in the league. Oh man, why is my webcam gone? What is going on, man? We're having so many technical difficulties. Give me 2 seconds, lads. Are we back? We're back. Apologies. Would you consider monetizing your model like Spiros if it does well? To be honest, I'm not too pushed. I think you've seen with my own YouTube channels, I barely even monetize them. Again, I don't do this for the money, lads. Money is great, whatever. Like, I genuinely love this. First off, you know, you guys give me a platform to voice my thoughts. I don't claim to be no fucking expert or what other people think content creators are. Again, no content creator first off thinks they're an expert. Again, I'm just some guy sitting behind a camera in Ireland that just enjoys the game. I love football and I love speaking to people about my thoughts because often I back my opinions basically. But yeah, money in it is acres. That is true, Taylor. That is true. So yeah, I'm no expert. I'm just happy to have you guys here and listen to me ramble on a weekly basis. Leicester have scored in every game. I'm start both Aitonori and Gabriel ahead of Oina. Finn, I don't know if that's a true fact. That's actually quite interesting if it is. But yeah, that's fair enough. I don't really look at stats like that though, but definitely interesting. Saka and Son to Palmer and Foden for a hit. Yes. I'm thinking of doing Son to Palmer for free and then back to Son for Ipswich. Man, that Ipswich fixture is so nice. I think I could see myself even captaining a Slanky or something. I really fancy that. I love me country, says Roger McSweeney. Wissa or Garnacho to bench? To be honest, I'd bench Wissa only because he come back from injury. Keane says, Choi mate, I sold Saka to Foden as a full send. Have one more free. I'm guessing I should roll. As a Liverpool fan, Gabriel's benched and Mikalenko is starting. I have no issue with fans doing that type of thing. Again, if that's what gives you the most joy when you're playing the game, fucking go for it. Like, you're going to miss out on 2 or 4 points. Like, again, I'm all for being optimal and whatever, but it's also not a bad move, so, like, I don't mind that. Choice for the people and for the game. Yeah, I just hate the misconception that, you know, just because we, when I say we, I'm on about content creators, that, like, we know it all, but we don't, like, but we don't think we know it all. We just try to take opportunity of what we're given and we enjoy it just as much as the next guy, like. Your bro's son injured? Yeah, my bro's son is injured. Who do you think is the most injury prone keeper? Fabianski. Where in Ireland did you say you're from? I'm down south. Many people are benching Gabriel. I guess this week is the one Gabriel will score a header. I think if there's ever a week to bench Gabriel, it is this week. Is Son your twin, Shy? First off, right. This is actually a good talking point. I'm not going to take it as racism because, you know, I've lived with this my whole life. But when you look at me, what ethnicity would you say I am? Of course, a few guys in chat might already know where I'm from, but, you know, would you say I'm Chinese, Korean, Japanese? Obviously, I'm Irish, but, like, what ethnic group am I? Bring in Guardiola or Lewis. I mean, Guardiola if he can stretch because he got benched. And, of course, you know, he's 5-star weak foot and he hangs balls in the top corner for some reason. Adam702 says racism. Mo, no, I don't think so. It is what it is. Sat Romero or Gabriel? I would be Sat Romero. Sir Brian says Korean. I'm not Korean. Yo Henry says Vietnamese. Finn says Vietnam. Ultra Settings says Russian. Vietnamese. Adam says Malaysia. Hong Kong Malay. Indonesian. Irish says Roger. Philippines. Filipino. This is what I mean, like, I could be from fucking anywhere and you believe me, like, because, like, culturally, look, as a fellow Asian, I would say that I can differentiate fairly well in comparison to other people on Asian groups. Again, that's just from seeing them. But no, I'm not from the Philippines or Vietnam or Japan or Mars. I am from Hong Kong and Malaysia. Well, my parents are. Mum is from Hong Kong, dad's from Malaysia. And I was born in sweet Ireland. So yeah, interesting to see quite a few people, you know, you're close I guess, but not close at all really. Anyway, back to FPL. What am I doing? What time is it? We have 15 minutes until the deadline. I'm going to do a cheeky scroll on Twitter. That's what we're going to do, and then I'm going to confirm my transfers. By the way, how toxic has Twitter been recently? If you look at my own page, you've seen, of course I've been busy, but I haven't been posting at all really. And it's because when I log on to Twitter, it is just so toxic, man. I think this is one of the most toxic times, I want to say. It's just it's always just bickering, and I'm just like, man, like, can we just enjoy it, man? Like, why does it have to be like this? We're all just here for the same reason, because we love FPL. Let's see if we can stalk what other people are doing. I'm intrigued. Angel says you are too polite. Nah, it's just when, you know, you get a better understanding of people, you understand, you know, the way people are going to act, and I just want to be happy. You know, maybe my FPL rank isn't the greatest, but I'm sure it'll be a bit better at some point, and the grass is always greener. AJC says, I would have said you were a Jack Ian. What the is a Jack Ian, bro? Jack Ian. A city dweller or a Dubliner. Oh, when I heard Jack Ian, I was like Japanese, Korean, or something like that. I just thought you were being blatantly racist. Where in Ireland are you from? I'm from Cork. I am from Waterford. Gabriel out? Potentially. In a FIFA game right now, so won't be able to ask more questions. Do I captain Foden or Haaland? I would just captain Haaland. Save yourself the stress, man. I think more popular you are, toxic it gets. Also, you like and react to most of comments. I suppose, yeah. No, I don't care if someone's blatantly a dickhead to me. It doesn't bother me because, like, I mean, I'm thick-skinned. I grew up in an age, a different point in time where, you know, I say different point in time. I mean, I'm used to it is what I was trying to say. And it's not the first time in my life people have tried to get under my skin, and this won't be the last. So say whatever you want. Tweet me abuse, like, do your thing, like. But it doesn't affect me. I meant on the toxicity point of view, more so like in the community. Like, I go on my timeline and it's just people bickering or someone chatting shit about someone else, and I'm just like, man, like, just mind your own business, like. I don't know, maybe I'm speaking for other people, but that's from my perspective. Let me know what you think of that. The Red Cup Debate Podcast says, would you pick Palmer and Buemo captain? If I were to pick one out of the two, it would be Palmer. Again, only due to talismanic figure, 11 million. It's a bit more enticing to me, I want to say. In Buemo with Ipswich at home, though, isn't bad. But for me, Palmer edges it. 12 minutes until the deadline. Get your thoughts in. Let's do another poll. Polls are fun. If I can find where chat is. 2 seconds. What do we want to poll? Let's do no, I can't think of anything good. Someone put something good for a poll. I forgot I can just ask you guys. Yochai, Trent to Guardiola plus Shumeni to Kuna or Gabriel to Guardiola. Roll transfer and play Mavadidi. I would just play Trent, to be honest. What do you think long term as Maddison as an option? I don't love it at all. I think he comes in a small bit too expensive for me. How many transfers are we doing? 2. I think it looks like 2. FPL cartel is real. Yeah, see, that's another thing. Like, I genuinely thought when I saw that first that it was just people, you know, poking fun and it was a joke. But then people are being serious about it. I was like, they can't think that there's an FPL cartel. Like, why? Why? Like, don't get me wrong, Walkergate did exist, but like, FPL cartel is crazy. Troy, do you think I should start Eze or Semenyo? Start Eze, man. Spurs are still a bit frail. Yo Henry says, I don't read the For You bit on Twitter, only the following bit. The For You bit is just a bit of nonsense. Yeah, that is a good point, Henry. And maybe I should start joining you. Very good point. Twitter is just weird, says ZJ. And says Elon took over and Manny started tweet shit just for views. Sorry, I couldn't speak there. Yeah, no, I agree. Troy Tosin, Saka to Johnson and João Pedro to Solanke. How do you still have João Pedro first off? But yeah, those are two good moves. Nixon Kumatsai says, hey Chai, -4 to get Palmer and sell Saka. Again, if you think Saka's not going to play, it sets you up nicely for the future as well. Madison or Johnson? Johnson. Again, one thing to note though, Johnson minutes look like they will probably get reduced at some point. Only due to Odegaard's appearance. When I say reduced, he will start still. Is Haaland triple captain a good option? It is a good option. This is probably the second best week to play this season. Yeah. It's like... I'm literally saying this is the second best week to triple captain Erling Haaland, and I'm not doing it. Only because of stubbornness in me to be a bit different and try to go for something else a bit exciting. But yeah. It's just the type of person I am. Really playing with Palmer captain? Not me. I was just suggesting this to someone in chat. Are you afraid of Palmer being on 3 yellows? No. Do you think Saka to Palmer is worth even if Saka doesn't play? Yes. By the way, would you sell Gabriel or Havertz first? I think I'd be more inclined to sell Gabriel. Semenyo or Diaz? Again, I think I would play Diaz. Do you reckon Haaland's ownership will be over 200%? I'm going to tell you exactly what the ownership is going to be right now, and you're going to clip it. Haaland's ownership this week is going to be 183.7%. Zubin says 2 free transfers. Play Smith Rowe instead of Saka or Saka. Hold on, am I tripping? Play Smith Rowe instead of Saka or Saka and Havertz to Johnson and Watkins. Oh, that's a tough one, man. I would just play Smith Rowe. Play Smith Rowe. Semenyo or Smith Rowe? Smith Rowe. Can you comment about Bowen? Great player. Well, not a great team, but they will get chances and goals. I don't mind Bowen going forward, and he's a nice fixture set, so definitely not a bad option. Tosin Saka to Foden. Love it. Gabriel to Guardiola. This week, I think specifically, love it. Did the cartel tell you about Haaland's EO? Yes. FPL Focal, FPL Harry and Ross were all in my ear telling me all about the EO. 8 minutes until the deadline. Enough about the cartel. Let's do some moves. Aït-Nouri in, Palmer in. Let's do it. To be honest, Reese, I was tinkering, and now until I'm not tinkering, I want to make the moves. Harry's holding Saka. Fair. Sounds like a Harry thing to do. What a manager, by the way. What a manager. You know how I know, like, Harry had a bad week last week. That's when I know not to feel bad. If Harry's having a bad week, I mean, I don't need to stress. That means everyone's having a bad week, realistically. Renan, Aït-Nouri, or Mikalenko. Anyway, those are the moves done. Why not go to Foden? Because I've got Lewis, Ederson, and Erling Braut Haaland. Do me a favour. Make sure you click save your team when you're making your transfers. There is the team for game week 9. I am locked in officially. There's 6 minutes until the deadline. Can't believe we have to watch a fairly shocking game tonight though. I still have Eze since game week 1. You poor fucker. You poor fucker. Who to bench? Aït-Nouri or Trent or Mikalenko? I'll be benching Mikalenko. Why not start Mikalenko? I don't know, man. I actually don't know. It's just what I'm feeling. Palmer captain, not for me. Easily Erling Braut. Throw the triple captain armband on? No, you're trying to make me join you, and I don't like that. How did that Son drama feel last week, man? You owned them last week, and it was madness. Yeah, let's speak about that a small bit. Of course, I brought in Son and Garnacho last week. Fucking over the moon come 3 o'clock, let me tell you. When I initially saw the Son goal, I thought it was an assist, but that's because I watched it in real speed. Looking back at the replay, no way it's a Son assist. What annoys me though is just, you tweet about Son getting an assist and bonus points. Then you delete the tweet and you stay quiet about it. Then you change it. It's like you give me all of this dream and then you rip it out of my heart. You get me? Like, it's like you could have done it a bit better. Again, people make mistakes. I say people, like affiliations too, but again, I just wish they went about it a bit better. Palmer back in for Son. Yeah, unfortunately. It's a shame. I thought Son in the next 2 or 3 could have done very well. Again, maybe just a bit slight misjudgment from myself. Maybe I should have waited in terms of fitness. Of course, he was never going to play that full game. So who would you start from, Trent or Aït-Nouri? I would just play Trent, man. Trent is just... he's that guy, like. He really is. By the way, could you let me know, is there ads on this video? So, when I stream, I don't monetize it. Only because it takes away from the experience, to be honest. And it is what it is. But I think YouTube might flog you with ads anyway. Let me know if you could. And I'm just going to put ads on them anyway if they're going to do it for me. Like, I might as well get paid for it, you know what I mean? Again, apologies if you're being littered in ads. I have YouTube Premium, so... I haven't seen an ad in ages, and I know and I can understand, especially when you're trying to watch like an FPL content creator, how annoying it can be. Ryan says no ads. Good shit, good shit. Hope you appreciate it. Again, I'm not doing this for no money, but all I ask is, you support me. When I'm doing shit, you're here not talking shit about me, and you enjoy the content. That's the main thing, man. Just enjoy it, man. Just enjoy it. Boy Johnson or Bruno, another Man United attacker. It's crazy that we're in 2024 and we're still talking about Bruno. If I could get to Bruno, I would do Bruno instead of Johnson. No as, bro. Good stuff. I love Premium. Yeah, Premium is a life changer, lads. I'm going to be honest. I was so against it, but it is worth every penny. Hey, Choi, Kuna or Raul? I would go Kuna. Why Aït-Nouri over Mikalenko? I don't know, man. I just think the upside is there. Brighton, this is not appetizing. That's a good way to put it, but I don't know. I think I'm hungry for like upside at this point. I could play Mikalenko, but I don't fancy him this week. Again, not optimal. Yeah, just not optimal. That's all you need to know. Connor says I'd be happy to watch ads. Good to know. We might stick them on next time. Like, sometimes I throw them on for my videos, only because the videos are a bit different. You can watch them in your own time in comparison to live streams. Apologies. It can be annoying when you're trying to come in and out. And I know a lot of people, you don't only watch me for a deadline stream, and if you want to pop in and out, you're more than welcome to. And if you get an ad every time you want to come in here, that's annoying as fuck. Spotify or Apple Music, Choi? Which is better? Apple Music all day. Which do I have? Spotify. Why are you not selling Havertz for wood? Doesn't make sense to me. Am I mad for starting both Ray and Gabriel and benching Trent? Yes. Flat out, yes. Bat says fair enough. Choi, do I start McNeil or Smith Rowe? Tough one, man. Tough one. McNeil or Smith Rowe? McNeil or Smith Rowe? The uncertainty is like, it's not great, is it? I'm supposed to give you for sure answers, but I would play McNeil. I'm brave, no ads for me and no premium. Yeah, because I have them off. Okay, Choi, deadline transfer, Son to Palmer -4, yes. Why need ads while the cartel is loaning you bags? Oh, fucking brilliant. Tea or coffee? Choi, believe it or not, is a coffee man. I do love a bit of tea though. Which two to start from? Gabriel, Trent, Aït-Nouri, Colwell? I'll be starting Trent, Aït-Nouri and Gabriel. Vandenberg or Trent? Trent, man. You can't be benching Trent, surely. Maybe I'm just a bit too complacent. By the way, 1 minute until the deadline. This time I won't be sticking around. Again, if you are going to leave before the deadline, it's been a really enjoyable stream, as usual. Again, the form from my own perspective is a bit more on the upside, I would say, due to it being a midday stream. But yeah, thank you for joining me. Be more than welcome to stick around for the next few minutes if you want. Hello from Singapore. Hello, Joel. Hope you are well. Start Trossard or Rodgers? Rodgers. Mavadidi or Semenyo? Semenyo. Start Trossard or Rodgers? Rodgers again. Van den Berg versus Gabriel Choi. See, the deadline is over. We have to stop the questions there. Liam Walsh says, enjoy your weekend, Choi. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us again. No worries at all. Hope you enjoyed it. I look forward to seeing you. When is the next deadline? I'm actually quite unsure. By the way, nearly at 10k subs. I look forward to that day. It will be one of these days. It's coming up soon. I just need to be a bit more consistent making content. And I'm sure we're going to get there. It's only a matter of time. But yeah, so everyone, thank you for joining me for another stream. I'm going to wrap it up here. I really appreciate every single one of you. Again, especially when the market is so saturated with great content creators. To come to me for a deadline stream is ridiculous. Best of luck this game week. Be sure to tweet me how you get on, or send me your teams. I'll try to get back to them. And I will see you in the next.